Hello again. This week's been quite a struggle. I've been really tired, a lot more tired than I expected after just 2 weeks training. It all started on Friday on our group ride. It was slightly faster than we normally do it, but it was still okay. So on Saturday I just did a short ride on the trainer and just 45 minutes, but I started getting cramp during that ride. So I thought, well, it's not really going that well, is it? And I was getting quite worried about the long ride. Of course, I then checked on Strava and I found that I've only done 3 rides over 100 kilometres since I think it started in 2009. I mean, obviously I've ridden longer than that before, but at that time I was a lot faster. So the reality of what I've taken on was starting to come home. Anyway, they're still planning to do the 120 kilometres this weekend on Saturday. It's Thursday today. And Clare had already planned to back off the training a lot. She'd anticipated that I was going to be a bit tired. In fact, she told me earlier on that she'd planned to back it off even more than she has done, even though I thought it was an extremely easy week.
So John's had an interesting week this week. The most interesting thing we've noticed is how tired he's been. I had planned a very easy week for him in any case. In actual fact, in my head, I'd wanted it to be a bit easier than I put in the plan. I just thought it was so easy it might be a bit of a shock for him. So we'd originally thought that after a couple of days he might be ready to do his first long test ride on the Wednesday, just because of logistics at the weekend, but it became quite clear on Tuesday that wasn't going to be the case. He still felt really fatigued, and we were noticing some signs of that in his day-to-day and his day-to-day work as well. So we've kept the first long test ride for Saturday. He is coming to a bit. He's had a rest day yesterday. He's going to take another rest day today. Just do the Zwift group ride, very easy, on Friday tomorrow. Hopefully by Saturday he'll feel good and ready to go. Certainly from a Training Peaks point of view, his form will be positive by then. As you can see from his dashboard, the figures do show that he should be feeling fatigued, because the pink line, the fatigue or acute training load is certainly high. It reached a high point. I've
been feeling better throughout the week. I've been sleeping better. Things have been a bit more normal. On top of everything, I've had quite a lot of work on. And work stress does have a big impact on most people, including myself. Talking a bit more about the symptoms of the fatigue as it was coming on, because I think we've caught it early, and I think that's been really a big success. Well, we'll find out at the weekend. But what I find is I get what I call tired legs. So one of my legs, my right leg, feels more tired. It feels like heavy and thick and dead sort of thing. And that was the leg I was getting the twinges of cramping. And I also feel a bit agitated and grumpy. So after I've done a long ride, I feel a bit, not thinking very well. I suppose my blood sugar might be a bit low, even though I've hydrated and eaten properly afterwards. And that can take a few days to get over that feeling. So over the years, I guess I've become attuned to what things feel like, and my recovery rate has come down. Whereas, when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I could do something pretty hard and I'd be feeling a little bit tired on the next day. Say I did something hard on the Sunday, I'd be tired a bit on the Monday. And then I'd be fine again to do some hard intervals on the Tuesday. But nowadays it takes a couple of days. From the Saturday long ride, Sunday I still feel a bit tired and not really with it, into the week before I start to feel better. And this week's been, certainly it's taken me a while until today when I feel, pretty good and ready to get going again. I'm explaining this feeling because I think it might be useful to you. And please let me know if you identify with these feelings, or what sort of fatigue feels like for you if it creeps up on you. So
it's set to be windy and rainy on Saturday for our test ride, so hopefully that's not going to get in the way of things too much, but we're looking forward to seeing how that goes, to testing a few things out, testing out the fueling, testing out a few gadgets, and in general also seeing how he responds after the 120k as well, because the long-term plan is to do these 200 kilometre rides fairly regularly. So dialing in how he recovers from that will be a key part of maintaining training and maintaining that consistency and getting those 200Ks in regularly over the next year.
We've got the first test coming up on Saturday, so we'll find out how that goes. Hopefully it'll go well, but we'll learn a lot from it. We'll learn about my average speed over a reasonable distance, and then we can think about maybe improving that average speed by changing tyres, changing rolling resistance, and I'll explain the process that I go through for that. Change the aerodynamics a bit, maybe try some aero bars. But it's just a standard bike with some fairly thick tyres. Of the 3 rides I mentioned, I've done 2 rides just over 100 kilometres, and the longest one's 135 kilometres, so 120. I think my planned route's about 126 kilometres. It's certainly pushing towards the limits. Okay, see you next time. Bye.
Okay, so looking forward to seeing how the test ride goes and what happens afterwards, and hopefully John will have some fun while he's